In this video, we're going to take a look at Harbor Freight's central pneumatic angle die grinder with rear exhaust. Stay tuned. Alright, so today we're going to take a look at this central pneumatic angle die grinder from Harbor Freight. So my die grinder that I've had for many years, it was a different brand, I don't even know what it was. I picked it up at a swap meet, but it lasted a long time until recently. So in a pinch, I went out to Harbor Freight and picked up this for $12.99 at my local Harbor Freight. So first off, go ahead and take a look at the compressor requirements. So it's calling for at least a 29 gallon or more to get continuous operation out of this. Max speed 20,000 RPM, 90 PSI max air pressure, and the average air consumption, as I already said, is 3 CFM at 90 PSI. Quarter-inch collet size, air inlet is quarter-inch, and your recommended hose size is 3/8. So let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at the tool. Got some instructions. It comes with 2 collet wrenches to add your attachments to. And we got the tool itself and a nice warning that says oil daily or your warranty is void. I didn't even know these things came with warranties, but we'll do that. Here's a look at the tool. It already broke. The handle's coming off. Nice. So we'll have to fix this, but let's go ahead and push that through here. Okay, we'll have to do something with the ends on this pin, but it's back in action. The one thing I like about this is that it does not come with a safety lock here. Those kind of get in the way, and after a while with long operation, they just kind of wear on you. So I like that feature. I like the lack of feature. So I don't know what you guys think, but definitely like the fact that there's no safety there. You just pull the trigger and go. It's kind of loud, but I guess that's how it is. You want to check these to make sure that this nut back here is actually tightened, and these are in reverse, so righty loosey, lefty tighty, I guess. But you want to check that. On the other one I had before this was loose and I didn't know it, and then this thing came out and the whole thing stopped working. So you just want to check that, make sure it's tight but not too tight. You want this to spin freely. This is probably good here. And then again, pull on it, make sure it's not going to come out. So that's good. And then of course you got to buy your air adapter for this. This one calls for a 1/4 inch. So I have one of those, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on real quick. And this is just kind of what this looks like. Now, depending on the type of quick connects and everything you got, you'll want to check and make sure you get the right one. But for me, this one works. This is off my old one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and throw, you can use Teflon tape or pipe thread sealant. I have pipe thread sealant here. If you are using this, try not to get it on the inside of the actual fitting. Just get it on the ends. So go ahead and thread that in. Just got a crescent wrench, and you don't have to go too crazy on these, so I usually just snug it up. So that's good. Just clean that off real quick. And then let's just look at some other things on here. So if you don't know what these are to grease the gears inside the die grinder. So they make mini grease guns that kind of, you just push on this and put some grease in there. I don't have one, so I'm just going to spray some white lithium grease in there. That's what the instructions actually call for. Generally the air tools have their own kind of grease that they recommend. This one, like I said, the instructions call for the white lithium grease. So we'll just go with that. And then on the back here, now this outer nut basically keeps the trigger and all the stuff in there. You know, if you ever have a clog or anything, you can take that out and you can kind of clean everything out. The inner one, it doesn't tighten up, it just turns, and what it does is it lets you increase or decrease the pressure that's coming through with the air. So you can, you know, if you keep your compressor set at 90 PSI, you can use this here and adjust this to reduce the actual speed of the tool. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart so that I can get some grease in here, some better grease than what comes from the factory. All right guys, so to take this apart, I'm just going to throw it in the vise, clamp it in there, and then we'll go ahead and use a large crescent wrench, and just like that. Okay, and then it looks like we got another piece here. We'll look at this being that I have it apart. So let's take it out of the vise and check it out. All right guys, so let's take a look at the inside of this. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so this whole thing comes out. All right, so there's a look at the inside. All right, so then this piece goes in. Here's a look at the gear. All right, so let's go ahead and spray some in there. A little too much, but that's all right. Go ahead and get that all, there we go. So anyway, take a look. We got plenty of grease in there. Should be good. I'm assuming they're talking about the actual white lithium grease that comes in a tub or a tube. This stuff's might be a little too runny, I don't know. But it'll be good for now. And then whenever I get my mini grease gun, I'll go ahead and apply some better stuff to this. I have some good grease coming with it too. So anyway, let me clean up the mess I just made, and then we'll get this thing back together, get some air hooked up to it, and see how it goes. We're going to take this piece first, and we're going to find that bump, and we're going to put in this groove, and that piece is good. And then we throw on the washer. Okay, and then this piece goes on next, so we take the longer side and put it in. And we can go ahead and tighten this one down. Just tighten it by hand for right now. Okay, that one's nice and tight. Still spins nice and free. All right, so then we'll go ahead and put this piece on. Okay, just finger tight. And then we'll go ahead and put this one in. It's reverse thread. Okay, and now what we want to do is loosen this up. Get everything lined up. We want to get our paddle lined up with the head here. Okay, and next, I want to make sure that still spins good, and it does. So we're going to go back to the vise and tighten everything down. All right. Again, make sure the head's lined up with the paddle. Pretty happy with that. And just hold it in place and tighten it down. All right, so we're back over on the bench here, and we are pretty much good to go. Last thing we got to do is put some oil in and then attach our fittings. So let's go ahead and do that. Just want to make sure that thing still spins freely after tightening everything up, and it does. So let's go ahead and put some oil in, get it hooked up to some air, and then I'll show you how to use this adjustment screw. All right, so we're ready to put some oil in this thing and fire it up. Basically, under normal use, you just put 2 to 3 drops in. At least that's what I do. If you guys do something different or you think something different, let me know. I've never really looked that up, but yeah, normally I just take, I have this container here with oil in it, and I just put 2 to 3 drops in it. So go ahead and do that. Maybe it's because it's the first time putting oil in it. I'm going to go ahead and put about 5 drops in, and then after that, daily use, I'll just put a couple in. So we'll go ahead and put some in. All right, so we got the air hooked up. And then check it again. Once you do that, see if there's any play forward and back. There should only be a slight amount, just, you know, again, to let it spin freely. So this one's good. The one thing I noticed right away is this is really loud compared to the other one I had, and I'm assuming the more expensive ones are quieter. So again, this was $13 in my local Harbor Freight, but we're gonna try it out, see if it gets the job done. So, okay, so let me show you this here real quick. So again, this outer piece here, you can take that all off and this whole thing comes out, so then you can adjust the trigger and everything. And then this here, I'll show you whenever you turn this. I thought it just broke. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, but no. So this is just the collet and the piece to keep it on there that came off of there. So that's good. So anyway, well, that's good. So for what I'm doing, I'm cleaning up some metal. So I have this roll lock attachment and basically I think these are called nylon discs or polycarbonate. I don't know what they are, but they're I think they're nylon, and they are great at removing rust and paint. So if you're interested in seeing these in action, go ahead and check out one of my previous videos. I'll link to it above. And let's go ahead and get this on. So basically, go ahead and put that in there, put that back on. So that thread is normal. And then put that in there. And then basically this is where you need the 2 wrenches. I'll say that head's a little warm just from spinning it wide open like that, but that's all right. All right, so now basically take your smaller wrench, you put it on the bottom, and then you take the larger wrench and you tighten it up. Okay, nice and tight. You can see how that kind of goes right there. So it's good to go. So we are ready. The last thing I got to do, this shouldn't happen. So we're going to do something with this pin right here because it keeps sliding out. Basically we'll focus on flaring out one side and then we'll go to the other side. Okay. And try to get the other side. All right, got her now. Okay, so that's good. Flared that out. Basically, just took a pointed edge punch and flared out the ends with it. So at this point, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this thing to use and see if we get further than we did with the first one. And just for the record, I don't know like what order I'm doing the videos in here, but my first one of these, I made it 6.5 minutes before this front piece came out and it stopped working. And again, I just decided to, once I tightened it back up and everything, it worked okay, but I just was worried about what might have happened to the gears inside, so I just took it back, being that it was only less than a day old. So, all right, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and put it to the test. See how we do. Again, this thing's super loud, so make sure you wear your ear protection. And then, of course, safety glasses and gloves and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So I'm using this on my 1971 Camaro. So being that I put in fresh oil and a good bit of it, and then some lithium grease, and it was kind of runny, I don't want to get that in my car, and as much as I can avoid. So I'm going to go ahead and just run it right here for a little bit and see if I can blow some of that out. And the other thing I noticed with this Harbor Freight gun is that it vibrates a lot more than the one I had before. But yeah, let's go ahead and get some of this grease out and go from there. All right, guys, so again, about 10 minutes in or so, this is what happened. And you can see here, this piece loosened up again. So I don't know what to do about this. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up again and see what happens. But you can see, like, I'm able to just turn that with my finger right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the vise and tighten it back up. And again, what you're looking for here, this is what I was saying at the beginning. So whenever I watch, so you see how that goes in and out? That's what you don't want, of course. So push it in, and then these are reverse threads. So anyway, let's go ahead and tighten it up again. Just get something that you can fit in here. I'm just using a punch. And again, reverse threads, so I want to take it this way. Still good. Still good. Still running good. Spinning good. I wonder if there's like a break-in or something, you know, once it runs for a little bit, something moves, adjusts, whatever. So there we're getting a little tight, but that's still decent. So that's probably too tight. But I'm gonna go ahead and try it there and see what happens, because once you, let's take that out, put it in here, see what happens. Seems okay. Oh, now it's pretty good. A little bit of bonding, but whoop. All right, let's get back to work. All right, guys, so just use this thing about an hour, continuous, non-stop. And I didn't have to tighten it again. So that first time I tightened it, I went a little bit past to where it was kind of bonding. It's no longer bonding. It still seems tight. So I don't know, maybe there's just that initial break-in period where things come loose and you just got to tighten it up. So overall, so far I'd say it's a winner. I mean, for the price, for 13 bucks, it's loud, it vibrates a good bit, but gets the job done. I'm still gonna order a different brand just because I like the ones that are a little more quiet and don't vibrate as much, but this will be a good spare to have on hand, so wouldn't hesitate to buy it. So there you go. Seems pretty good. Definitely seems like it needs some thicker grease in there though, but we'll get that mini grease gun and get it taken care of. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful for anybody else that's considering this. You know, I picked this up in a pinch because my other one broke, but it did the job. It's good, it's got enough power, and I recommend it. If something happens to it, throw it away and buy another one.